He said that surprised you?
Not necessarily. He reiterated some of the themes that he had said before, but I guess maybe what you could say is surprising that he would sit down with us in the middle of such a big firestorm. However, as we pointed out, they called us, so clearly some people could argue this is maybe a chance for them to get their side of the story out. Maybe PR genius, if that's one way of looking at it, or other people would say it was ill-timed.
And the topics at 10 include?
It's going to be a lot of what we talked about, but more on the distinction he made between the officers in the Derek Williams case and the officers involved in the strip search. He really had totally different opinions on them that we'll explore a little bit tonight at 10.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Look forward to it.
Thanks.
Thank you, Ann.
Now let's move on to the confrontation in Kentucky. Both Joe Biden and Paul Ryan spending the day preparing for the vice presidential debate.
It's tomorrow night in Danville, Kentucky, and so is our Mike Lowe. He has tonight's political lowdown.
We are here in Danville, Kentucky for what they're calling the thrill in the Ville. It is the vice presidential debate between Joe Biden and Paul Ryan. It is perhaps the biggest single moment in the entire campaign for the Janesville congressman. He has a well-earned reputation for seriousness, dealing with sober issues like the debt and the deficit. But you may not know this. Just as he can quote the great minds in conservative economics, he can also quote the great 1980s comedies. Will we see some of that humor in this debate tomorrow? We asked his older brother.
I don't know if Caddyshack or Fletch or Animal House will play well, but you're right. You know, he's a serious guy, particularly when it's serious issues. But he's the most humane guy I know, very lighthearted.
Tobin Ryan is 5 years older than Paul, and he says he knows what it's like to debate the VP candidate.
He's a good debater, but I had experience on my side for many of the years, and most things these days we see pretty much eye to eye. Until it may come, you know, if heaven forbid the Badgers ever have to play, you know, Notre Dame, then we may not see eye to eye.
We sat down with Tobin and his wife Oakleigh for a joint interview. They say this experience has been as much of a whirlwind for the Ryan family as it has been for the candidate himself.
The first couple of weeks were frenetic. It was absolutely crazy. I think Paul was able to keep his head on his shoulders, but the rest of us, we were upside down.
I've been able to get involved as well. In fact, I just came from a breakfast this morning with 30 women to talk about issues that were important to them in Janesville. So we're literally all involved, including our kids.
There are two big moments for the vice presidential candidates. One is the convention speech. The other is the debate. And Tobin says he's not nervous for his little brother.
Not like you'd think. Perhaps I should, but he's a prepared guy. I think there's an inherent confidence in that.
Of course, Vice President Biden is the other half of this debate, and for some perspective on his preparations, we spoke one-on-one with his son, Beau Biden.
He's working very hard. Paul Ryan's a very, very skilled debater. He's been doing it since he was about 28 years old in the House of Representatives. He's a expert in the budget, his own budget.
I once heard your dad say that in Washington, D.C., an expert is anybody from out of town with a briefcase. You're saying he's an expert on the budget. Your dad's kind of an expert on foreign policy. To what extent does he need to move the debate in that direction?
Oh, I think the debate will cover all facets of policy, both foreign and domestic. And so my dad's preparing for all issues, domestic, foreign, budget, Medicare, Social Security, whole range of issues. Working hard. He's studying his briefing books, doing a lot of reading up on Paul Ryan and his budget, and making sure he understands two things. One, what his opponent's positions are on policy, and also making sure that he communicates to the American people who take 90 minutes out of their day or evening, sit in their family rooms or their dens, and be able to articulate the clear contrast that exists between these two candidacies.
After the first presidential debate, Barack Obama went to campaign in Madison. After this debate, Joe Biden will go to La Crosse. It's an indication of how important the Democratic Party sees Wisconsin as a key battleground state in this election. Reporting in Danville, Kentucky, Mike Lowe, Fox 6 News.
Thank you, Mike. Fox 6 will carry the vice presidential debate live tomorrow night starting at 8. We'll also stream it live on fox6now.com. Look for Mike Lowe's live report after the debate on Fox 6 at 9 and 10. And for more on the VP debate preps, watch Fox 6 Wake Up News tomorrow. We start at 4:30. It is the logo for the Meswood football team.
It shows a greyhound from Shorewood and a bishop's hat with a cross on it from Mesmer. A Shorewood student created it, and now it's creating controversy.